Today, we're going to tackle the one thing that will make or break you: balancing stock, cash, and ad spend so you can grow without losing your sanity. Let me ask you a question. Are you one of those founders who's staring at your next quarter thinking, how much stock do I need? How much should I spend on ads? What if I run out of cash halfway through? I can tell you now, you're not alone. I worked with a founder last year who'd done everything right in the run-up to Black Friday, except one thing. They doubled their stock order, went heavy on ads, and on paper, everything looked amazing. But by December, they were stressed out of their minds. Why? Because all of their cash was tied up in boxes sitting in a warehouse. They had no money left for advertising, no cash for operating, and no cash for them. And I've seen the opposite too. Founders who play it too safe, order too little, sell out too fast, and then spend the rest of the quarter watching their competitors scoop up all of the demand they've generated and could have captured had they not run out of stock. Both are painful. Both are avoidable. And that's what we're going to fix today. I'm Jason Chappell, founder of Defiant, creator of e-commerce growth made easy. I help e-commerce founders like you take control of your numbers so you can grow profitably, not just in your next quarter, but every quarter. And today, we're going to tackle the one thing that will make or break you: balancing stock, cash, and ad spend so you can grow without losing your sanity. Inside this episode, I'll walk you through how to forecast demand without guessing, how to make sure your stock decisions don't strangle your cash flow, and how to balance stock and ad spend so you can win at major times like Black Friday without wiping yourself out. And if you want a forecasting calculator I use with my clients so you can plug in your numbers instead of scribbling on paper, you can get it inside my e-commerce growth made easy community on Skool. The link's in the description and you can get started for free. So first things first, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you know how much stock to order? And before I answer it, there's a mistake I see founders make all too often. They either take last year's sales and just add 10 or 20%, or they overorder because they have the cash on hand. Neither of those is a strategy. Instead, here's how I want you to think about it. Start with your revenue target for the quarter. Let's say you want to do 500,000. Now break that down. What's your average order value? Let's call it $80. If you divide your revenue total by your average order value, that means you'll need around 6,250 orders. Now look at your product mix. Which SKUs are going to drive those sales? Is it your hero product? Bundles? New launches? Allocate those 6,250 orders across your actual product mix. Now you've got a realistic view of demand. That's your starting point for stock. Now, it's not just about how much stock you think you need. It's about how much stock you can afford. And we'll get onto that in a minute, because I worked with a founder who got burnt badly here. They ordered a full container load ahead of Q4, thinking they needed it all. But 40% of it didn't sell until May the following year. That's months worth of cash stuck in inventory. And here's how to stop that happening for you. First, work out your unit costs and total order costs. Next, check what that does to your cash reserves. And then ask yourself, will I still have enough left for ads, operating expenses, and emergencies? Because if you don't, you're going to have stock without ads or marketing. And stock without marketing or ads is dead stock. You can't move it. And the flip side is equally damaging. Ads without stock is wasted spend. They have to work together. So when you look at your cash, you need to split it between both. As a rough guide, I tell founders, never let stock take more than 50 to 60% of your available growth capital, especially in your busiest quarter. Keep enough back for ads and marketing, otherwise you'll end up strangling yourself. So the answer is that we have to find a balance. But how do we actually find that balance? Here's the framework that I use. Set your sales goal for the quarter in terms of revenue. Translate that into orders and stock needs by dividing your revenue goal by your average order value and then mapping that to units sold. Check your cash reserves. Split your cash between stock and ads so you can afford to drive the demand you've just forecasted. Here's an example to make it real. Say you want to hit $500,000 in sales this quarter, and your average order value is $80. This gives me a total of 6,250 orders. Let's now say your cost per unit is $20. If you multiply your total number of orders needed by your cost per unit, that means you'll need to spend about $125,000 on stock. Now, what about ads? If your customer acquisition cost is around $20, you'll need to multiply this by the number of orders you're expecting, which gives you a total of $125,000 in ad spend to acquire those customers. So now you've got a total of $250,000 tied up between stock and ads. Can you afford that? If yes, great, that's your plan. If not, you've got options. You can lower your sales goal, which means your stock requirements and ad spend both drop. You can raise your prices. This means to make the same amount of revenue, you need to order less stock and sell to fewer customers. So again, your stock requirement and ad spend can both come down. Or you need to find ways to improve your customer acquisition cost or average order value so that you spend less to win a customer to hit the same goal. This is the clarity you don't get if you just order more and hope. Now, let's be real. Q4, or whichever quarter is your busiest quarter, can be chaos. Platforms are volatile, ad platform CPMs spike, and competition is everywhere. And that's why you need guardrails. Here's what that looks like. You need to know your break-even customer acquisition cost. You need to set a target customer acquisition cost, and you need a minimum cash buffer. So if you see customer acquisition costs climb past break-even, you know it's time to pivot either away from that expense or look to increase average order value to counter the rise. If you're hitting your target, that's a green light to scale, but don't go wild. Remember, stock out is as costly as carrying too much stock. And if your cash buffer drops too low, slow down before you run out so you can stay in the game. These guardrails are here to stop you waking up on a Monday morning wondering how you just burned $50,000 on ads that didn't convert. So let's bring this together. If you go into your next quarter without a plan for stock, cash, and ads, you're gambling. But if you forecast demand properly, balance your stock with cash reserves, and set clear guardrails for your spend, you put yourself in control. And that means no more sleepless nights wondering if you've ordered too much or too little, or if you've spent yourself into a corner. If you found this useful, share it with another founder who's stressing about ordering the right amount of stock right now. They'll thank you for it. And if you want the calculators and the step-by-step framework I use with my clients, you'll find that all inside my e-commerce growth made easy community on Skool. The link's in the description. So go run your numbers, balance your stock and cash, and go into your next quarter knowing you're ready to win without burning yourself out. I'll see you in the next one.